Hey yo, check my channel for that first installment of that top 500 Saint Laz songs. And if you want to do a song with me, hit me up on this Instagram right here. You know, I ain't got to explain nothing. I ain't got to justify nothing. But, for those who don't know, man, I'm a poor righteous teacher. I'm here to teach and learn you, baby. I'm here to learn you. Know what I mean? Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, I'm going to help you find out what you're talking about with this series right now. You feel what I'm saying? Dudes talking PC. Let me tell you something, bro. Mod 7 was the animal house. You heard? Nothing but high profile cases, celebrity criminals, celebrity adolescent criminals. You heard? Like I told y'all before, many dudes came down to Mod 7 thinking it was sweet. Like a box of Mike and Ike's. You heard? And many a dudes got washed and ran up out of there. And we ain't here to glorify none of that. But we are here to get that history straight. Cause you know I'm a historian. So we gonna get the record straight. And that's a fact.
They would make it they duty to watch the 10 o'clock news just to see them perp walks or certain shit. If they see if it's a perp walk and if it's a dude there like he's about 16, 17 years old, right? And they shit is on the news, they get, oh no, they already know you coming to Mars 7. Look, I'm gonna tell you, right? All right. Back then, right? Certain cases that made the newspaper, right? My case made the paper, right? But the only reason, right, that my case didn't make the front page of the news at that time was because John Gotti was on trial. You understand? And his trial dominated all the papers. You know what I'm saying? They was on the front page of all the papers and stuff like that. So, my case was like on the second page, third page, something like that. And the thing was, at that time, right, you didn't get caught like outright right there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like what happened to the victim, what you know what I mean, what he did for the community, whoop-de-woo, all of that stuff. You understand what I'm saying? They had a big article about that. You know what I'm saying? So when we got, you know what I mean, we got knocked, it just so happened, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know, I didn't know anything. This is my first time on Rikers or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? So as soon as I got down there, that bus ride that take you in the receiver room and all that stuff, boom, put me in Mars 7. You know what I'm saying? So that night when I got there, you know what I'm saying, it was quiet, everybody sleeping. The dude, I don't know, I can't remember who it was, but Cap, you know how you come in, you gotta go on Broadway and all that shit. Cap put me on Broadway, you know what I'm saying? And I already heard stories about Rikers Island, like, I came through kind of fresh for the time, you know what I'm saying? I had some polo jeans on. I just had some brand new Nike Cross trainers. That's like when them joints first came out, I had like a Nautica jacket on, and I had like this I had a Jordan baseball shirt on, right? That said Jordan across it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm cautious. I'm being cautious, making sure, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm being cautious. Anybody try to step and try to test me for my shit. But just so happened, ain't nobody test me for nothing at that time. You know what I mean? I got up in the morning, and like that very same morning, like a little while after, right? It was two cats came in. One was this dude named Ant, or Black Ant, that's what we used to call him, and there was another cat from Flatbush, right? And they was on either side of me, you know what I'm saying? And then, after about we started kicking it and shit like that, we got cool. Once I started finding out stuff about down there, everybody talking about, yo, it's PC and all this stuff like that. But I'm gonna tell you, right? A lot of dudes in there. I was in there with two brothers, the D train robbers. They back then they got locked up for they had a robbing spree on the D train. They shit made the paper. It was Thurston and another I can't remember his brother's name. You know what I'm saying? They look alike and shit, but they was robbing the fucking D train. They had the Dominican cats. I was down with that Jerry Curl shit, that drug shit. Colombian dude. I can't remember the particulars of his case. Then it was it was two cats. One dude named Kelly from the Bronx, right? He had a body in an attempt. He shot two motherfuckers in broad daylight and bodied one of them. Then there's another cat. There was another cat named Pop. Pop shot somebody in broad daylight. His shit made the fucking paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so on and so forth.
Pop shot dudes on the Staten Island ferry.
Yeah. Some shit like that. But
waiting
I know
for not on the ferry, but by the ferry. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. From Smurf Village.
He from Smurf Village. Yeah. Pop a cool dude.
And what happened? You said Ant and them came in, and they came in, or they mean they came in the dorm after you?
Yeah, they came in the dorm after me. They wasn't there. They came always came in around the same time. You know what I'm saying? And then like he used to sleep next to me, so you know what I mean? When we used to kick it, you know what I mean? Found out he from Flatbush, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the 90s or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but it's Brooklyn, you know what I mean? So but we would have kind of a rapport with each other and shit. We was cool, you know what I'm saying? We wasn't peoples or nothing like that, but we was, you know what I'm saying? We was cool, but I think he knew somebody in the dorm, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew somebody in the fucking dorm, and dudes started bringing them in somewhat, you know what I mean? Because there was two phones, you know how the house was set up, there was two phones. So it was a Spanish phone, then you had basically it's like another phone. It's supposed to be like the phone for the blacks, because it was most of that dorm was set up divided along racial shit, which it don't make no sense to me, but that's how it was. Spanish cats had their phone, and black cats supposed to have their phone, but the black phone was the people's phone, basically. You know what I'm saying? So, Pop, Kelly, dude named Pooch, I think Pooch from Bed-Stuy too, and a couple other cats, they held that phone down. You know what I'm saying? And after kicking it with Ant, they put Ant on the phone. It took a little while, not immediately, but they, you know what I mean? He was on the phone, and then he started, it was cool, and it was just on some people, you know what I'm saying? Some people shit like that. So let me see. I'm trying to remember. Oh, let me tell you, the first incident that I had, this was like a week after I got there. The first incident I had in March 7 was when was with this Spanish cat named Flacco. You know what I'm saying? I think he was down with that Jerry Curl shit too. You know what I mean? It was him, and there's another cat named Jordan. They used to be like the shot callers for the Spanish cats in the back. You know what I mean? Because all the Spanish cats used to sleep in back of the dorm, and you had, you know what I mean, everybody else, and the people used to sleep up in front, and then you had everybody else in between or whatever. So let me see. Yeah, so this is how this particular incident went with him, right? All of us lined up. We was going to chow. They called chow and shit. And you know how you gotta line up and shit to go to chow and shit like that. So we walking, and we had a lady CO. I think her name is Lashley, if I'm not mistaken, right? We going to chow, whatever, and cats was talking in the hall, so she trying to, she telling cats to be quiet or whatever. I wasn't talking, so we walking, right? Cats still talking or whatever. So she turned around and said, "Oh, y'all still want to talk? All right, ain't no phones and no TV or whatever the fuck, right?" So Flacco was like a suicide back then, or a house gang or whatever the fuck. So, but He turned around, he's like, yo, shut the fuck up, da 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 da. So he turns to me and was like, yo, you still wanna you wanna talk? You burnt this, you got us burnt on the shit. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? I ain't say shit, you know what I mean? He was like, all right, watch when we go back to the house. All right, I'm like, man, whatever, motherfucker, they ain't gonna do shit to me, man. You know what I mean? But I wasn't, I ain't really taking, dudes just talking shit. I ain't really taking too serious and shit. So, at that time, I'm still fucking sleeping on Broadway and shit. Yo, I go to my bunk. Excuse me, I go to my fucking bunk, dog, and fucking, I lay down on my bunk and I fell asleep. Yo, all I felt was some shit hit me upside the head. Bam, 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 bam. So I jump up. Yo, this motherfucker, he hit me with the fucking broom, the push broom, right? He hit me with the push broom. He was coming down the aisles and shit, sweeping, and he stopped by my bunk and he hit me with the fucking, he hit me inside the head with the broom and shit. So I was like, oh shit.
This was protective custody.
So once he did that shit, right, he skated off to his bunk now, and the fucking CO come in to take the count on all this shit, right? So Cat's looking at me like, yo, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like yo, what you gonna do and shit? I ain't had no fucking burner, no banging, nothing. But you know what I mean? I got these hands. I said, man, I'm gonna knock this motherfucker head off, this skinny motherfucker here. So the count came around, right? Shit died down, son. So this motherfucker Flacco, he still by his bed and shit. So Cats already told me, right? Brooklyn was like, yo, as soon as you set it on this motherfucker, we gonna jump with you. If any of them people's jumped in the back there, if they try to jump, we gonna jump. So I'm like, all right, but I ain't even worried about none of that shit. My thing is, I'm gonna just knock this motherfucker head off. I start walking like slowly, like I'm trying to play it like I'm talking to Cats and shit, so I could get close to his fucking bed. I finally caught the motherfucker slipping. He wasn't paying attention. Got up on him. I hit that motherfucker with a body shot, one to the body, one to the head. That's my word. That motherfucker crumpled under the motherfucking, like down there under his fucking bed. And I just started stomping this motherfucker. Stomping the shit out of him, right?
This was protective custody.
So them other cats in the back tried to like they was moving like they was trying to like they was gonna jump and shit, and fucking them other cats was like, nah, this is a fair one, you know what I'm saying? And so after that, he threw some threats at me like he gonna cut me, all this shit like that. So motherfucker gotta be on point. I think there's a cat in there named Vern. He from Flatbush, you know what I'm saying? Me and him got cool, and he hit me with an ox, you know what I mean? He let me hold the ox just in case, you know what I mean? Like these cats try to jump off and do something, or whatever. But yeah, that was like the first incident that I had.
What that nigga did, y'all never had no more beef after that, you and that nigga Flacco?
Nah, hell nah. We had an incident where the incident where fucking motherfuckers we formed and deaded they fucking jack. We deaded the fucking Spanish jack. I don't know if you was there or you got there at that time. I think you came shortly after, like that whole everything transpired with that. You know what I mean? It was really Vern, right? Vern. It was a few of us. We formed, but Vern was the one that jumped up and deaded the fucking jack. Was like, man, fuck that, because they, you know what I mean? They was feeling themselves, like they getting kind of strong in the house. They got numbers and shit and all this shit like that. But still, he was like, man, fuck that shit. Vern was like, fuck that. We just gonna take their shit. So I was like, well, it is what it is, whatever. So he deaded the phone, took the phone off the fucking, you know how you unplug the shit out the cord? And he put this shit, I remember this shit, he put his hoodie on. And Vern is a little motherfucker. Vern was like about 5'4", 5'5". He took the jack and took it, put it in his pocket, and he had the hoodies. Like, yo, I come to the back. Whoever want the phone, come to the fucking back. That's my word. None of them dudes came to the fucking back of the house. And them dudes sleep back there. None of them dudes came to the back of the fucking house. You know what I'm saying? So we deaded them on the phone because they knew what time it was. They knew if they was about to jump off. You know what I'm saying? It'd been an all out whatever.
But what happened after y'all deaded the jet?
Weeks went by. You know what I'm saying? We on, we got the phones and shit. These dudes, they buzzing around the dorm. You know what I mean? They buzzing around the dorm, mad and shit, trying to figure out, whispering. You came there after I came back from the Bing.
Yeah, I think so,
I went
man.
to the Bing.
I don't think you was there when I got to the crib. I think you came back to the crib.
Nah, son. I remember the first night because you came in at nighttime. I remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I came in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I remember you came in at night. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that, yo, you was stressed the fuck out, man. I was like, damn, man, what the fuck happened? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know your case was in the fucking. I didn't know your case made the news. You know what I mean? Because usually cats in there. I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Dudes was sick, right? And they made it a duty to watch the 10 o'clock news because they shut, how they shut shit down like around 11 o'clock. They would make it their duty to watch the 10 o'clock news just to see them perp walks or certain shit. If they see if it's a perp walk and if it's a dude there like he's about 16, 17 years old, right? And they shit is on the news, they already know you coming tomorrow 7.
That's a fact. I remember when niggas was doing that when the Valentine Day Massacre happened. Niggas was like, I bet you them niggas come tomorrow at 7. I bet you they come tomorrow. Niggas used to do that shit every night at 10 o'clock. Any adolescent that caught a high profile crime, that shit was all over the papers and the news, nigga, you coming tomorrow at 7 first. 9 times out of 10, unless you been there a few times. If it's your first time on Rikers Island and you got a high profile ass case, they sending your ass tomorrow at 7.
Exactly. Everybody that I knew, like that I saw on, like, it was so many cats. You had to remember the Bishop killers, the cats that they tried. They didn't know the dude was like some archbishop or some shit like that. It was 2 cats and shit. The fucking they robbed the dude and then one of them killed the dude and found out he was an archbishop and shit. That shit made the paper. I remember seeing them on the fucking news and shit. And then dudes like, oh man, yeah, they coming over here and what do you know? Like a few days later, here they come. They up in there. With they set up and all that on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Both of them. You know what I mean? But anyway, yo, what was I
you
talking about?
You said a few weeks later niggas was walking around the dorm buzzing and all of that.
Yeah, so they buzzing and shit like that. Da. They trying to figure out how they gonna get this phone back. Or how they gonna how they gonna get the phones back, how they gonna pop off, whatever the fuck, right? So this is what happened. I never forget this shit. It's a fucking Saturday. This shit happened Saturday morning, right? Early in the fucking morning, I had doing cats is sleeping and shit. So I jump up and shit. I see Vern was like, alright, Vern and Shorty Roughhouse like, alright, that's how y'all getting down. Well, da. Both of them, they leaking. You know what I'm saying? Both of them got splashed across their face.
This was protective custody.
Cats jumped up like, alright, that's how y'all want to do it. And it wasn't no, the CO wasn't in the dorm or nothing like that. The CO's in the bubble, right? But when the CO came out, right, she saw that Vaughn was cut or whatever. You know what I mean? He tried to cover it up. He saw he was cut, took him out.
They shit was scratches or they got blown bad?
Nah, they got blown. Not like severely, but it left a mark. You know what I'm saying? They left a lifetime.
Who blew them niggas? You don't know?
To this day, I never found out. You know what I'm saying? Never found out who did that shit.
But niggas knew it was one of the Spanish niggas though.
So check it, right? well, it had to come from them because they had, they had soldiers too. You know what I'm saying? They had soldiers too. Not everybody. They had one Jamaican dude that was rocking with them. And
who you talking about? Who you talking about? That nigga Ross?
Yeah. They called him Ross. He kind of tall.
Yeah, that nigga wasn't no adolescent, my nigga. That nigga wasn't no motherfucking adolescent, my nigga.
But hold on.
No fucking way in the world was that nigga an adolescent.
Hold on. Let me finish telling you the story, right? Let me finish telling you what happened. So they come around now, right? They see Shorty Roughhouse shit. His shit open. They take his ass out. You know what I mean? Already squad coming down. Squad come down. They go through the whole house. They search everybody's shit, right? Search everybody's shit. Da. Now, but before let me backtrack. Before the squad come in there, right? And before the first person that was taken out was Vern, right? And when Vern got took out, my man Boom jumps up and was like, yo, this the problem right here. He was pissed. He was like, yo, this the problem right here. This what y'all want. He goes to the phone. He rips the phone out of the fucking wall and smashes that shit on the ground. Right? He smashed that shit. Totally destroys the fucking phone. So dudes is looking. All them cats in the back, they looking and shit. They mad and shit. So they take out Roughhouse now. They take him out. They search. They shake down the whole. They shake down the whole dorm. They ain't find nothing. Now I know them Spanish dudes. They holding. They got like samurai.
Yeah, you remember that nigga Mouse? You remember that nigga Mouse?
Yeah, I remember.
He was their weapon maker, my nigga. And let me tell you something. That nigga was talented, bro. That nigga was making shit in 2 days that niggas would take 2 weeks to make. His shit could be sold in stores. His shits was so pretty, they could be sold in stores. Mouse was a little short. I don't know if he was Puerto Rican or Dominican. I think he was Puerto Rican from Bushwick. My nigga, that nigga was a master weapon maker, my nigga. Them niggas had like 80 bangers back there.
Man, I wouldn't even call them shits bangers. Them motherfuckers had swords.
This was protective custody.
You know what I'm saying? They had like them shits like fuck. To me, them shits like samurai. So when the motherfuckers used to pull them shits out sometimes in the fucking back, like that. But it's more so they be intimidating motherfuckers to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So let me get back to it. Dude, boom, he smashed the fucking phone, right? And they shake the dorm down and all that shit, right? So, cats, putting their shit back together and all of that. So, shit, we know ain't nothing died down. You know what I mean? The shit is
so what happened when you said when he smashed the phone, nobody did nothing? The police ain't see that?
Nah, nobody ain't did nothing. Nobody could not have booked the police came in and saw the phone was smashed, but what they gonna do? All this happened in the same fucking day. The shift changed and all that shit. Now I never forget. Remember that CEO Colombo?
Vaguely, I think you was telling me about it before. Spanish dude, but I don't.
Spanish dude. Check it, right? All I remember, you know what I'm saying? Nah. Me and Boom, we the only ones there now that had that phone, was part of that shit with the phone and shit. So me and him, we used to sleep next to each other and shit, right? So, but we was at that time, you know what I mean? There's some time passed, you know what I mean? Being familiar with the house and all that shit like that. Cats, you know what I mean? We rock with certain cats and shit like that, and we up front, like close to by where the people sleep at, but we don't really rock with them and shit. Everybody cool with them or whatever, but that's them, you know what I mean? So, but we laid down on our bunks and shit, and like you could feel the tension, man. You could fucking cut that shit, dog. Fucking Boom turns to me and says, "Yo," he was like, "Yo, Black, all I gotta tell you is, yo, go all out." He said, "Go all out." right? So as soon as he said that shit, right, like a few minutes later, dog, all you see is a sea of motherfuckers from the back jump up and start running towards where we at. I said, oh shit. So me and him, I jump up on my bunk, he jump up on his bunk, and that same motherfucker Ross, right? Ross was the one that was leading the fucking charge. He was the first one to run up. He tried to run up on me, like jump up on, like grab me off the fucking bed. Y'all mule kicked the shit out that motherfucker, man. Mule kicked the shit out of him, right? And now these cats is coming.
Yeah, in his chest or in his face?
I kicked him dead in his fucking face.
This was protective custody.
And so he goes back into the crowd, but these cats are still coming, right? And all I'm seeing is the motherfucking swords, right? So I'm like, oh shit, these motherfuckers, they trying to pull, we just getting it on. They trying to pull us off the fuck, they trying to pull me off the fucking my bed and shit, right? So it just so happened, yo, all I could do just describe this like this. Remember that video game, like the Pit Devil Dragon, where the motherfuckers is on the on like the cover or the side of the arcade joint, they back to back fighting.
Yeah.
That's how that shit was, dog. But this shit was happening so fast. But me and him, we back to back, motherfucker. We getting it on with all of them.
How many niggas you think y'all was fighting though?
It was all of them. It was like about 20. It was like about 20, 30 of them motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? No, on my grandmother, may she rest in peace, though. You know what I'm saying? Then they coming, right? And I'm just swinging, but there's so many of them, right? They made a mistake because the cats that didn't have no weaponry, those was the dudes that was up front, like leading the charge up front. The dudes that had them joints, they was in the back of them. So they couldn't get at us. You know what I'm saying? Like to stab us and none of that shit. They fucking their own mans up. You know what I mean? So, but one of them dudes, so a couple of them dudes did grab my. Cause remember, I had locks back then. I had dreadlocks and shit. So motherfuckers pulled a couple of them locks out my head. But long story short, motherfucking COs pulled the pin, right? COs pulled the pin and shit. As soon as they pull the pin, cats know the squad coming and shit. Cats run, they run back in the back and all that shit. Whatever, right? That's my word. That same CO Colombo comes in, right? I'm thinking he gonna start pulling like everybody out that's involved. Colombo comes in now. He points to me and boom, right? He said it was him and him, right? When the captain came out, he pointed both. It was him and him. I said, oh shit. So they pull us out. They pulled me out first. They put me between the A and B gates and shit. You know, like how they got the hands and the feet spray painted on the wall and around them. The red hands, you gotta play the wall. You gotta put your hands and shit on the fucking wall and put your head face down and all that shit. I do all that shit. One of them COs from the riot squad tell me to fucking, play the wall. I get on the wall, I put my head down. Yeah, that's my word. This motherfucker slapped the shit out of me, gave me an underhanded slap, man. That shit had me so mad. That shit had me so motherfucking mad. Tears were streaming down my face, but I know, like, if I couldn't do shit, you know what I mean? I'm a little motherfucker. If I come up off this wall, you know what I mean? They gonna beat the shit out of me. They probably gonna break me up or whatever. So, all I can say is like, all right, you got that. Whatever. They packed me up. They packed both of us up and sent us to the Bing and shit. Now, when I get to the fucking Bing, like I told you this before, I don't think you wasn't there for this. Where I shot 5 with a CO, this CO named Pickerton or Pickerton or some shit like that. That's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? I say that story for another time.
And tell that shit, nigga. Tell that shit.
Hey yo, follow me on my little Twitter page, you heard? Trying to step it up, man. I mean, gotta step my tweet game up. But follow me, Gen Pop Laz. Yersk.